First of all, hi. People are so quick to say, if you were smart, you could have. If I were you, I would have. If you were me, you'd be no different than you are now, which is utterly forgettable, just in my body. The average person is below average. So although we're all capable of change, most rarely do. That is why change is so alarming to people. It's unheard of. People aren't willing to go the distance, to put in the work, to believe in themselves. You cannot dwell on decisions you've made. I have tried a multitude of things at the buffet of life, and I will not apologize for it. I don't do apology tours.
I hear you.
I know what I like and what I don't like, what's good for me and what's not, and where I want to go moving forward. And thankfully, hallelujah, I don't need anybody's permission to change. And you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many people benefit from you staying the same.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Belt 91. We're talking to you guys really, really quickly about Brittany Renner. You know she's my favorite person. That's my supervillain right there. And you know I've always liked Brittany Renner because I actually felt like she was actually somebody who was of self-awareness, that had depth, that actually was quite intelligent and quite smart. And you saw my very first video I ever did of Brittany Renner. If you type it in, you'll see it. I broke down one of her videos where she was explaining some of her thought process, and I said to you that if she can come out of that dark space, she's a very intelligent, very beautiful, very smart woman. She can bring change for herself and bring change for her life and bring change for those people who actually watch her as well. Now, this video here, I want to talk about obviously that the fact that she's proof that some men hate on women simply because they can't have them. I'm going to show you a comment. Now, you guys seen me when I spoke about Lori Harvey just this week. I want to prove to you that there are men out there, before any man comes and says I'm simping or any woman says I'm simping, proving to you what I mean by some of you just can't have these women and that's why you hate them. It's got nothing to do with her. It's all to do with you. I want you to look at this little comment here by Dark Lake 69, a guy. Look what he says here. He says, well, you changed to average. Don't forget that. Usually I'm happy when women like you fail in relationships because of how y'all belittle and don't consider middle income men. Let's just pause it there. Don't forget that usually I'm happy when women like you fail in relationships because of how y'all belittle and don't consider middle income men. Why does she need to consider you? Why are you mad if she doesn't consider you? Because you feel entitled to being considered. Sir, you don't even consider every woman. There are women who are not on your attraction level who you don't consider. Why are you mad at them? Because you feel entitled, because you feel that you should be considered. You feel because you got a little bit of income that makes you in her vicinity, in her circumference. But sir, you are not in her space. You're not in her breathing ozone layer, and you are not somebody who she sees. Right? Now, of course, he goes on to actually praise her after. He says, however, I think you did make a good point in the post about people who benefit from you saying the same. But that wasn't my focus. My focus was more based upon what he said here. Usually I'm happy when women like you fail in relationships. That's what you're dealing with. When I said about how men really think, and it's not every man, I told you it's not every man, it's a type of man who was ignored oftentimes in his youth, was overlooked by women in his youth, girls didn't like him in his youth, girls didn't want him in his youth. Other men, he saw other men flourishing with girls, and that jealousy and that envy sunk in, and it's been there, sitting there, waiting there, cultivated in one's spirit and in one's body until now. And then it just finds the right moment and time and season, and then eventually it comes up. Look what it says. It gives me great pleasure to see women like y'all fail and be baby mothers. This is the nice guy stuff I was talking about. That's the nice guy stuff I was talking about. That there are men out there. It gives me pleasure to see women like you fail and be baby mothers. Do you know why? Because you hate. The reason why is because you're more angry at yourself not being a man who's actually attractive and wanted and appreciated by these type of women. So you're angry and frustrated, and then you take your anger and frustration and your jealousy and your envy and your insecurity and your resentment that you're not seen and heard by these type of women, and then you beg for them to fail. What? Right? But he does go on to say, I think you're intelligent and actually a good person based upon some of your recent interviews. I think the perception of you has been crafted by social media, which is a part of the problem. Right? But my issue again goes back to women like her, women like you to fail relationships. You take pleasure in that. That tells me that you're an entitled individual who wants to see women fail because then it would give you validation for your insecurity and the fact that you weren't seen and you weren't heard and you weren't considered. You weren't qualified for someone like Brittany Renner. I don't qualify for someone like Brittany Renner. I don't qualify for someone like Taraji P. Henson. And I'm not mad at it. Listen, I don't qualify for someone like Megan Good. I'm not mad at it that I don't qualify for these type of women. They're amazingly beautiful women. And listen, the game is the game. You are not in their breathing space. You're not in their eyesight. You're not in their eye line. Don't get vexed because they can't see you when you're not even visible. Anyway, like, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down below. I just wanted to use this because I said it was proof of what I was saying about men. I'm not lying when I say it.